Hey guys, in this video I'll be doing a comparison with the top 3 most aesthetic, genetically gifted physiques ever in my opinion, and those guys are Shawn Rhoden at the 2013 Mr. Olympia, Flex Wheeler at the 1999 Mr. Olympia, and Andrew Jacked at the 2023 Texas Pro. All three have similar physiques in terms of shape and flow, and these versions that I'll be comparing are among their best in my opinion. Now, to judge this comparison, I'll be giving the winner of the pose 3 points, the runner-up 2, and the last place finisher 1. Now, before the video does start, if you guys are enjoying my content, a like and sub would be much appreciated as it helps support the channel. With that all being said though, let's get into this video. Alright, here's the first pose guys, the front double bicep, and here you can see that they do present very similar physiques. All three have amazing round arms, huge deeply cut quads, and great midsections. Looking at the arms first, it is clear that Andrew has the best bicep-tricep separation. Flex and Shawn both lack arm definition, but have more proportional forearms relative to their upper arms. In terms of the torso and lats, I'd have to give Flex the advantage. He has the most pronounced V-taper thanks to that tiny waistline and those amazing flaring lats. I would also say that Andrew beats Shawn in this area as well, as his lats are more developed and wider, and I prefer his midsection and his taper overall. Quads are very close as they all, have very long femurs and lowly inserted long quad muscles. Flex immediately draws my attention though, as his sweep, mass, and separation look to be the best between all of them. Now, between Andrew and Shawn, I would probably go with Shawn due to his superior calves and sharper, more pronounced cuts, which can be seen more clearly in other shots. So for the overall win, I'd have to give it to Flex for his superior V-taper and amazing proportions. Shawn and Andrew are very close though, but between them, I would probably go with Andrew because his midsection and those perfectly separated arms are a little too much for Shawn to handle. That being said though, Shawn is just as conditioned and more dense, so it could go either way depending on what you like, but I do prefer Andrew in my opinion. The front lat spread is an amazing pose for all these guys, however Shawn really stands out to me. Those lats are really popping, and his conditioning is really only being matched by Andrew. His quads look super round and full, similar to Flex, but he has a much leaner looking midsection, and his serratus muscles are very pronounced. Flex and Andrew look pretty good too, however I think Flex falls a bit short. He does have amazing quads, as I just said, however his huge arms obscure his really impressive lats, and he doesn't look nearly as ripped in the chest and delts as Andrew or Shawn. For that reason, I'd have to give him the third place spot. That being said though, he is very aesthetic, and it's not like he's in a distant third, he just is the worst out of the three here. Anyways, between Andrew and Shawn, I'd have to give this one to Shawn. He looks much more filled out, and his muscularity is much more dense compared to Andrew, who looks a bit thin in the arms. Both have amazing torsos, quads, and lats, however Shawn handily wins in the arms and the total leg package since he has those superior calves. So I'd give this pose to Shawn, with Andrew in a pretty close second. The side chest is a lights out shot for Shawn in my opinion. First off, look at the lower body. Shawn kills Flex in terms of detail and separation, while matching his size, and destroys Andrew in the size department. In all honesty, Flex looks like he's in the off-season in the lower half, while Andrew looks like he needs 5 more pounds to those hamstrings to really be competitive. The upper halves are pretty close though, as all three have really good chests, delts, and arms, but in all honesty, Shawn has the worst arms here, as his triceps have little to no outer sweep to the arm, whereas Flex and Andrew have pretty good triceps. He also doesn't even have the best chest out there, being outclassed by Andrew's super full round chest and only barely beating Flex in that area. The reason why I think Shawn wins this one though is due to the overall composition of the pose. His legs are the most dominant by far, and his upper body flows extremely well, the best in my opinion for that matter. To be fair though, Andrew does have a slightly more impressive upper half, and there could be an argument for Flex beating Shawn in that area as well. However, Shawn's incredible lower body dominance is enough to win in my opinion. I don't think Flex or Andrew are dominating the upper body as much as Shawn dominates the lower half, so I'd have to give him the win. In second, I'd give it to Andrew due to his superior conditioning and fullness, and Flex would place in third due to his underwhelming side leg conditioning alone. The rear double isn't a standout pose for any of these guys, as none of them have world-class backs or look 100% complete. Starting with the lower halves, the guy who has the best, most well-developed and conditioned legs would be Shawn. His glutes are the most shredded, his hamstrings are the most defined, and he has the best set of calves. Like in the side chest, Flex's lower body looks really soft and watery, and looks horrible next to both Shawn and Andrew. He has zero separation in the glutes and barely, any noticeable fibers in the hamstrings. Andrew is like a middle ground between them though, as he has good conditioning but lacks hamstring separation. When looking at the upper halves, Flex is able to make up some ground, having better arms than Shawn and arguably a better, more defined back as well. Andrew looks amazing in the back itself, but falls short in the delts, and those forearms leave something to be desired. Shawn has the best overall shape in my opinion, however, he also has the shallowest back. The battle for first ends up being a relatively close call between Shawn and Andrew, since Flex's lower half places him out of the top two. In my opinion, I would choose Shawn due to the superiority in the legs and the better arms from behind. However, Andrew definitely has a better, more complete back. This one is very close though, and again, could go to either of them. Here's the rear lat spread, and this pose is also not an excellent pose for any of these guys. Flex shows the most depth to his lower back, but has by far the worst lower body. Shawn has the best lower half, but clearly has the least developed back, both in terms of width and size. Andrew is a nice middle ground between the three, having a decent lower back relative to the others, and better conditioning in the legs than Flex. In my opinion, due to the lack of separation in the legs alone, Flex would take third place. With such a large gap in conditioning between Flex and the others, I think it would be completely unfair to place him any higher. Once again, we end up with Shawn and Andrew in the back poses, a very close call to make. Like I said before, Andrew has a better back while Shawn has the better legs. In my opinion, now that the arms are out of the equation, Andrew can barely squeeze out a win here. Sure, he isn't as, conditioned in the lower body, however, he is wider in the back by a large amount and has way better traps and thicker lats. So I'd have Andrew winning this one with Shawn in a close second and Flex in a distant third. Unlike the back poses, the side tricep is an exceptional pose for these three guys. All three of them have some of the best midsections in history, insanely conditioned ripped quads, and very impressive arms. That being said, Shawn is the least impressive in the arm department due to his lagging, kind of flat tricep. To be fair, it doesn't look all that bad relative to, let's say, later on in his career, like the 2018 Mr. Olympia. However, compared to Andrew and Flex, it sure does look flat. If he had a better tricep, there would be a solid argument for him winning the pose. However, having a major flaw, specifically in the tricep, in the side tricep, is very detrimental considering the competition. Now, between Andrew and Flex, I'd probably go with Flex because he has a superior, fuller tricep, a better midsection, which is debatable, and better swept, thicker quads. Moreover, Flex's round, bubbly muscle bellies are too much for both Andrew and Shawn to handle, as they really make his physique pop. Andrew does do battle though, showcasing a very impressive quad, arm, and midsection as well. However, Flex's superior tricep and outstanding lines really put him over the edge. This pose might be one of the closest in the comparison thus far, as all three look amazing. However, the order I'd put these guys in would go as follows: Flex for the win, Andrew in second, and Shawn in third. Although I said the last pose was the most competitive one up until that point, I think this pose is the closest one of them all. The ab and thigh is an extremely tough pose to judge considering the similarities that they all share. All three have perfectly feathered quads, near perfect midsections, great V-tapers, and overall amazing silhouettes. That being said, they all do have some minor flaws. Andrew has weak calves and the widest midsection relative to the other two. Shawn has a hernia or some sort of protrusion in his lower abs, and Flex is the narrowest one of them all. In terms of positives though, Andrew has the best midsection in terms of symmetry and the best V-taper. Flex has the best quads, especially in the inner heads, and Shawn is the most balanced. Like I said, this pose is extremely close and could go to any of them. However, in my opinion, I'd give Andrew the win. I've said this before and I'll say it again, I think Andrew has the best ab and thigh of all time. His midsection is the most symmetrical, he is the widest structurally and has the best lats, and his quads are right there with Flex and Shawn. Next, I'd probably give Flex second. Sure, he isn't as wide as Shawn, but he has amazing legs and doesn't have anything wrong with his midsection. Shawn, while pretty close, has that messed up bulge in his midsection that I really can't unsee. It barely ruins the pose, but in such a close call, that's all that's really needed to fall a few places. The most muscular is the last pose of this comparison, and here you can see all three present very impressive physiques. Flex immediately draws my attention though, possessing those super round and full arms, feathered quads, and super small midsection. I know many of you will claim that the fullness is from synthol, however, even in this pose, even if it is synthol or whatever, oil, whatever, it's undeniable that he looks really good nonetheless. He still showcases similar, if not better, separation in the arms than Shawn and has a super striated chest and crazy delts. I would probably give him the win over Andrew and Shawn solely due to the wow factor alone. Next, I would probably give Andrew the second place finish over Shawn. This is because Andrew has superior tricep sweep in the pose, as well as more separation in the delt and chest. Shawn does look pretty good, but he needs more tricep sweep in this variation of the most muscular. So I would give Flex the win, Andrew second, and Shawn third. Alright guys, that about does it for this video. In summary, I'd Andrew winning this one with 20 points, and Flex and Shawn tying it with 15 each. In all honesty, I'm not surprised that Andrew won this comparison. He might just be the most genetically gifted one on the stage, possessing the height advantage, better symmetry, and crazy fullness and roundness. Shawn and Flex being even was not surprising either, as I believe that both have very comparable physiques. I think that both have more wow factor than Andrew in certain poses, however, Andrew is the more consistent one throughout all the mandatories. All three looked amazing in the front, however, they also left much to be desired from behind. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you think of this comparison, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.